Hey, I'm Nick with Table 19 Media, and in this video I want to talk about a 11,000 square foot house that I shot recently and go through the process of what that was like as far as like getting that job, also scoping it out, shooting it, and how it all turned out. So hopefully by watching this video, this gives you a better idea of how you can shoot luxury properties and get you started on that and hopefully help grow your business as well. Before we get started, make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. We have more content like this coming out very soon. So first of all, shooting this 11,000 square foot house came from the agent that got the listing for this property. I had worked with her before on some other projects for a new development that she got the listings for. So her and I had already worked on several projects before. So that goes to show that no matter who you're working with, it's always good to do your best, even when you think that these projects are maybe a little beneath me, or they're not as flashy as I would want them to be. Do your best, because this opportunities where you can do greater, bigger projects come from people talking to one another, or you working with somebody on something smaller and then they get a bigger job, a bigger listing, and so then they you're the first person that they call. So that's the first thing I would say is do your best on all the projects that you work on. Be nice to everybody that you work with, because you never know who that person is going to be that's going to give you that even greater opportunity, that even bigger job to work on. So that would be something that definitely keep in mind as you're starting or continuing to shoot properties and wanting to get more into the luxury properties. So arriving to this house, it's a massive estate. It is a massive house on a peninsula that sticks out into a bay. And so it's it's kind of on its own little corner of the land, but showing up, and it has a carriage house, and it has the main house, and then a private little beach on the back end. But showing up to this massive house can seem intimidating, because you think, oh, one, I don't want to do a terrible job. I want the house to look as beautiful as it really is. But showing up to the house, I met the agent and also the owner of the house, and we walked through the property, and they showed me all the different things about the property. And while I'm walking through the property, I'm asking the agent, what are the selling features? What do we want to focus on as far as showing this house? Because with houses this big, there is so much to see, and you can only pack so much into the video, so that you're not making the video 5, 10, 20 minutes long. So you want to make sure that we are also keeping the video fairly short, anywhere from 1.5 minutes to, I'd say the max would be 3 minutes, but probably more in the sweet spot of about 2 minutes. But walking through the property, I want to find out what the agent, and the agent's the professional, the agent's going to know what features are going to sell the house. The agent's going to know what features are going to pique the interest of potential buyers. And for someone to purchase this house, in the amount of money that they're going to spend, they're really going to have to love it. So walking through that property, I want to make sure that I know all the best parts to focus on the video. Now in the video, we're not going to be showing every single room. We're not going to be showing every single bathroom. This video is more, for a property like this, a high-end property, a luxury property, this video is more to show the best features of the house, to get people interested, to contact that agent to find out more information, whether or not they want to see it in person, or even potentially buy it sight unseen. So you have to understand that this video could be essentially the only thing that a potential buyer sees of the property before they make an offer. So as I'm walking through the property, I'm making sure that I pay attention to everything that's in the main rooms as far as materials that are being used, and I'm asking questions to the agent and even the owner. What material is this? What where did this come from? Is this custom? And there were I found out that there were some custom pieces of wood, as far as custom carpentry used in the house, but also custom glass work that was used in the house as well. So those are things that we want to make sure that we capitalize on and get some shots of that. Now with this house, there was also some automation as far as the lights, as far as the blinds, So those are also some features that I want to make sure that I show in the video as well. And especially with the properties of this size, you know, it's not just showing the features of the home, but it's also showing, you know, the lifestyle that comes with living at this property. So especially with the shots of the pool in the back, and the you know, and the tower in the back, in the private beach, you know, those contribute to, you know, selling the property with the person that, you know, potentially purchasing the property, you know, that, you know, getting them to see that lifestyle. And so part of seeing that lifestyle, after talking with the agent, they also wanted to have a video, and I'll show it a little bit later and talk a little bit more about that, but they also wanted to have a video about the area, because it wasn't just the house that they were purchasing, but the area that they're going to be living in. And they're expecting this person to they were expecting the person to buy this house would probably be either from overseas or not from that area originally. So they also wanted to show everything that the area had to offer. And so we also put together a video, you know, to show off the different areas, you know, from the beach to the city and everything that, you know, that comes with that. So I'll show that part a little bit later, talk a little bit more about that later. But just so you know, in crafting this video, it's not only about the selling features of the house, but it's also about the lifestyle that the person is buying into with the purchase of the house. So that's something to definitely take into consideration when putting these videos and planning these videos for these luxury properties. All right, let's talk about actually shooting the property. So going into this, at the time I had my Canon 5D Mark II and also a slider and on top of a tripod. Then I also had a Phantom 3 professional drone, a DJI Phantom 3 professional drone that shoots in 4K. So with these tools, I set out to shoot this property. Now, the 5D Mark II does not have autofocus, so everything would have to be manual. That wasn't necessarily a big deal, because on the slider, you know, I would line up the shot and get the shot and just move from left to right or right to left, you know, depending on that scene. Overall, you know, focusing on specific things while moving wasn't necessarily going to be an issue. The biggest issue that I found being in that house was just the lighting. Overall lighting was very dim in the you know, inside the house as opposed to outside, and so it was there was just parts where there wasn't enough light to balance the interior with the exterior, unfortunately. So I tried to keep that at a minimal as far as blowing out the windows and really just focusing on the inside. But once I got out to the outside with the pool area and the barbecue area, you know, that's definitely not an issue. For this house, because of time, there's really only enough time in the video to focus on the main rooms. So like the main living room, the kitchen, there's a study, there's a separate, you know, formal dining room, and then also one side bedroom and bathroom, and then also the master bedroom and bathroom, and also the massive closet that is in there. So as far as the interior, other than showing some of the architecture and the design, you know, within the interior, just showing those main bedrooms and main rooms was all that we really had time for in the video. And talking with the agent and the owner, they also thought that, you know, the other bedrooms weren't necessarily that important to show in the video, and that the viewer will obviously, you know, get the gist of, you know, how the house looks on the inside from the shots that we were able to get. So when I go into a room, I'm usually getting 3 shots per room and per bathroom. One entering in and using the dolly to slide forward, and also depending on, you know, how the angles of the room are, sliding in and moving a little bit, so there's a little bit of a swinging motion with that. So getting 3, one coming in the door, another one where another angle going to a corner in the room where I can see the door that I just came in, but also the rest of the room going there, and then also if it connects to a bathroom, showing that movement into the bathroom. So I don't always use all 3 shots, but I like to have at least 3 shots for each room just to show how things are connected so people have an idea of where things are located in that specific room. Then also shooting in bathrooms can be very tricky just because of mirrors, and usually in houses like these, there are lots of mirrors in the bathroom. So usually the best solution is to get as low as you can in order to shoot, and just shoot the, face the camera, tilting up and just shoot that direction, where you can get at a level of the light switches and still be able to push forward, in or out of that room. But most likely, most of the time I have to just get really low to get a shot of the bathroom without showing up in the mirror. So really it's just a process of going from room to room and getting those 3 to 4 shots that I talked about earlier, so that I have plenty of footage to work with. The other thing that I like to do is, as far as getting the wider shots and using the wider lens to get those movements in and out of rooms and within rooms, is also getting the tighter shots showing more of the hardware or the the material, the granite, the wood, the details, getting those tighter shots of the details of the materials that are being built. So this way it's not just a video of a whole bunch of wide shots, but you're breaking it up visually with wide shots, a tight shot, wide shots, tight shot, wide shot, so that it just doesn't get so monotonous with just a whole bunch of wide shots. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Obviously you want to use a wider lens, anywhere from 12 to 15 millimeters to 15 millimeter lens to shoot the wide shots, anywhere from 70 to 105 or more to shoot those those tight shots to show the materials that are being built, to switch that up. As far as shooting the drone footage, because this is on the water, I find that the best time to shoot, especially near the water where you want the nice color, this is in Florida, so you want the nice color of the water, is usually at noon, because that's when you're not going to really get any reflection from the sun on the water right there. A lot of times if it's too early in the day or too later in the day, the color won't be as vibrant in the water. So if you're shooting next to water, then I definitely recommend shooting around midday to get the nice vibrant colors from that water. I think I did have to shoot the drone footage over 2 days. The first day that we showed up there, the water was, I think it had rained a day or two before, so the water was a little bit murky. So I had to come back at a separate day and give the water a little bit of time to calm down, so that the color could be a lot more vibrant and clear in those shots. So when I'm shooting drone for a property like this, obviously I want the wider shots to show, and you kind of rotate around to show where it's located in proximity to other things. But I also want to try and get as close as I can to it to show the details, and get instead of just a bird's eye view and all these wide shots, I want to try and fill up the screen, fill up the frame with that property, or a certain detail of that property. So there's a shot where I actually, in the tower that they have there, that I actually get as close as I can, looking inside the tower on the second level, and then pull back out to expose the rest of the property. So it's just a different shot, interesting shot to change it up, instead of just a whole bunch of wide shots rotating around the property that can get kind of boring. So visually, you do what you can to change up those shots, even with your drone. All right, so let's talk about the area overviews. As I mentioned earlier, the agent wanted to have a video separately, but also incorporated into the video tour that talked about and showed what's in the area for people to experience, as far as shopping, as far as the beaches, golfing, different clubs that they can be a part of, as far as people that are in that lifestyle. So first part was to go into Pensacola and go to the downtown Pensacola area on Palafox, and shoot just different things that are down there, as far as the art museum, as far as different shopping down there, other museums, and also the music venue that's down there, as well as the golf club that is down the road a little bit, and then also the yacht club, which is on the other side near Pensacola Beach. So going into those places, just gathering B-roll of those different places to mix in and have some labels on the bottom. So if somebody is from either out of state or out of the area or even out of country, they know what they're looking at, and it just gives them a better idea of what they're potentially buying into as far as the property. So for this project, we had, when I delivered the videos, I had the video tour by itself of the property. I had just the area overview video, and then I had a hybrid where I have the video and the area overview, the video tour and the area overview together in one single video. So I delivered these 3 videos to the agent to use how they saw fit in their marketing campaign. And with shooting these area overviews, sometimes you have to be careful with the places that you are shooting. There were a couple instances where you're going to the golf course, the golf club in the area, and talking to them and explaining what I do and asking to fly a drone around the around the property, or either just capture footage. They were against it, and they said you can't use any footage of this. It's a private club, and we don't want to have any footage. So that was something where I had to essentially use footage from another golf course that I had shot, and just use that just to show that there is a golf course, a golf course close by, a private golf club that they can join. And the same with the yacht club, where I went in and talked to them. They said they don't want any shots inside, so I ended up only being able to shoot shots of the outside of the yacht club. So unfortunately, people can be weird about things like that, and that's totally fine. But just be aware that that's something that you usually need to ask permission for, at least initially, to see if you can get those shots. And the worst thing they could do is say no, but so I think it's always important that you do ask permission in those instances to on private property to get shots, even if it's for a real estate video. One last thing about the video was to either letterbox it or not. After I had edited the video, I thought maybe this will look better if I put, if I letterbox it, put the bars on, bottom and top. And I did like how it looked, and I sent them the preview with the letterboxing on the video to see what they thought, and they said they loved it and they loved the look of it. Because I initially wasn't thinking about letterboxing when I was first shooting it, I had to go back through once I put the letterboxes. Once I put the bars on top and bottom, and I had to go through the whole watch through just to make sure nothing was being covered up of importance with the bars. So there was just a little bit of an adjustment, just because that kind of came after the fact. I'd already shot the property, so that's something definitely to consider. That if you're wanting to letterbox the video, to do your best to do as you're shooting it, to have that in mind. And maybe even pitch that to the agent before you start shooting, and mention, hey, I think we should letterbox this to make it look more of a cinematic, more of a short film style instead of just a regular 16:9. Some agents think it's cool. Some agents don't like that. They want as much viewing. They want as much viewing area for the video as possible. So just if you have that idea, or you might think that's a good idea, I would just check with the agent first, so that you don't make them mad or do something that they don't appreciate, if you hadn't asked them previously. hopefully this video was helpful for you in starting to shoot or you continue to shoot properties for yourself and others. Feel free to let me know in the comments below what you think of the video, anything that you think you would have done differently, or any questions that you have about shooting luxury properties. Also, in the description below, I have 2 courses that you can take to help you shoot better photos and video on your smartphone. You can check those out below. Also, make sure that you like this video and subscribe. I have more videos like this coming out very soon. I'm Nick with Table 19 Media. I'll see you in the next video.